from the government, and I'm here to help.
Take a look, it's in a book.
Members of the community use their platforms to push their own personal bias and agenda.
Let's watch. Figure it out.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, this is another wonderful episode of We Figured It Out. And today's best friends right here. I'm your boy Michael.
And I'm Matt.
And we are doing this bitch on Labor Day. How's that feel?
Like I worked today.
Did you go to work today?
I did.
Oh, you got to work tomorrow?
No.
Is
But
Labor Day a paid holiday for you?
Yeah,
Like
but
double
it's double time, and then I was already on time and a half. So they only like get a little bit more at oh, here's the extra little bit,
Yeah, here's another half.
Which, I mean, I guess it's my paycheck again, so it's not that bad.
No. Do you see the place I work for? We had today off paid, and they were like, we're still going to work 40 hours too, and then you'll have 48 hours, and they act like they're trying to do you a favor, but it's like, dude, I'd rather work that 8 hours when it counted for overtime.
Right.
Because now that they put the holiday on there, it's like, well, that doesn't technically count towards worked hours.
Yeah.
Which is fair.
It doesn't really help you out at all. But...
It's 8 more hours, but I mean,
and holidays don't even really have to be paid either.
No.
At least in Colorado, depending.
No, there's only like 7 of them or some shit that they technically have to pay. I don't know. Somebody's going to tell me I'm wrong, but
dude, there's states where you don't even pay overtime tax.
What?
Yeah.
That's fucking thievery.
Dude, I mean, don't get me wrong. There's ones where you don't even pay state tax. That's amazing. But I mean, it's like no overtime. That needs to be like across the boards. That needs to be at a federal level. Like, why do you deserve more when I work more?
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm a good slave?
Yeah, it's thievery. If I gave you my 40 hours, leave me alone. Let me have anything after that is mine.
Yes.
That should. It's like I signed the contract for full-time employment. If I choose to go a little bit longer, well, you should be cool about it.
Okay. Right. Makes it so you just want to just fly through the day and not even be there,
I know. Which is crazy because, today we're going to be speaking about time travel. And they say that objects that are tending to move faster or be moving experience time at a slower pace than stationary objects. Now, we're not diving right into all that shit yet, but just thinking about your work day, it's like, I don't know, dude, when I'm sitting there doing nothing, it's slow as fuck.
Yeah, it's true. You sit there and look at a clock.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
But if
I even put off certain things because I have to do times. I have to input times, and I'll put that off till the end of the day because I don't want to sit there and put a time in every single. I have to do it for every single truck I take. So it's
God dang, you really?
Yeah. So I don't even do that until the end of the day. I'll just catch up on all of it.
Okay, I mean
that went quick.
That makes sense. Yeah, it's more sensible to put it all in one. I like to hold work too till I get enough to be busy enough, or
dude,
or they're you got
4 days. I do that a lot. Put it off till my last day even.
Well, they're always asking us sometimes you can't get certain direction on things and then you're asked to do stuff and it's dude, I got 10 hours and this is enough for fucking 2 hours of work. So it's all right, screw in one bolt at a time type shit. Maybe I use a screwdriver instead of a drill,
Right.
But then it's do I really want to just fucking kill my hand and be stupid too?
Yeah.
So I don't know if I agree with the whole time is slower to somebody moving at a faster pace. Unless it's maybe they mean exponentially faster, right?
Right. You'd have to be exponentially faster.
Mm-hmm. So anyways, like I said, I thought time travel would be fun because everybody always seems to fucking have something to say about it, oh man, I wish I could go back to the past and redo this. Or,
Right, right.
when you're younger, you're like, I want to be fucking up there, I want to work. I don't want to sit here in school. And now we realize how stupid were we?
Yeah. Just and then if you could just go back and forth, why not, man? Just like, oh, what are the winning lotto ticket numbers? Okay, cool.
Right? So there are rules though, right? I think essentially that's why people get hit and they're like, well, if you're a time traveler, if you're from the fucking future, what's the winning lotto numbers to this? Or why don't you come back and be rich? And it's like, one of the rules are if you come
You
back,
can't affect it.
you can't change what has already happened in the future. It has to be something that would continue on that timeline. Now, whether, to say getting hit with a fucking baseball bat in the face or falling off your bike both give you the same black eye. Now, very two different instances in the timeline. Now, I don't know if that's a possibility, right?
Right?
That would be
It's
creepy,
interesting.
right? You're like, I gotta have a busted face, but in this timeline, I just got fucking beat up by some Pisces.
And wouldn't it suck to know? Like, that would be even worse. Like, I gotta get a black eye today. Dang it.
Right? Um, it's funny because I didn't even think about that, but that's what happens in Hot Tub Time Machine, huh? He's got to get punched in the fucking eye. Remember?
It is, dude.
He's like, my friends don't even care about me here. That would suck if you like jumped a timeline and it was still the one where nobody fucking cared about you.
Yeah, right.
It's like, damn, most of my timelines are this.
That's
Anyway,
awesome. How do you do it? How do you time travel? Is it like click
um,
and get a remote
it depends on what you believe. Okay, so like,
DeLorean?
right, according to the if you want to go to wiki, right, it's a hypothetical activity of traveling into the past or future. But if you look now, I'm like, wiki, whatever, somebody could have wrote that, right? So I started thinking and I was like, well, what would time travel be associated with if there was like a government entity that had to do it, you know? And it'd be like a different dimension or a place, So I was thinking, okay, well, NASA, it's got to be some NASA shit, right? They're going to explore that in some
Right.
different space, time continuum where, it's the Rubik's Cube and you lost your car or some shit. I don't know. But um, so NASA, I
AI
would
says that I have to go to a wormhole.
a AI is not wrong. Okay, NASA basically describes time travel as moving faster than 1 second per second. Right, so you're essentially quicker than time. Um, the way we see it, NASA says though, is through light. That's pretty much the only explanation. Then they use, the same dog shit theory that we've all heard. Oh, the fucking stars up there, is like looking into the past because the light's already dead and it's just traveling for so long. That's what we see.
Right.
It's like, dude,
Because they're millions of light years away.
yeah. Wouldn't the light dissipate or it hits noise and they tell you, okay, the sun who's
And
93.
there's never any like interference, right?
Yeah,
Like,
that's what I mean. Like the noise, the fucking shit it would hit on the way would space it out. And then they go, no, it doesn't happen, because these things are bright ass stars, and living, blah, 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 whatever. And then they tell you the sun right fucking here can't light up everything at one time because there's shit in the way. And it's like, get the fuck out of here. How are there infinite amount of stars that can make it through, but our star that we can see right here can't fucking make it to us half the time?
true.
I mean, we should be thankful for that, right?
Right. Yeah, because we would fry if we
Mhm.
didn't rotate.
Yeah. It's something, if it wasn't working how it does now, something would be wrong.
Dude, and that's my reason, I think, primary reason for believing in God. Because I mean, how could you get something so freaking perfect? Like, I
Hmm.
mean, the balance is just, I mean,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I don't know if it can ever be redone,
It can't. I mean, they're trying.
Like you like on accident, it just poofed,
Mhm. Like, like Josh Monday was telling us, right? That shit fucking, an explosion doesn't create anything. So, like, nice try, science. You know,
And,
it's
like there
destruction.
was this old pastor that said something about like um taking a bunch of Scrabble pieces and putting it in a cup and shaking it up and throwing it out on a table and having a line of Shakespeare is about the odds of it coming from a bang. Could
Yeah.
it happen?
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, that's
Well, I mean, like, where'd the bang come from then? You know, where'd the infinite vacuum that it was all
where did
traveling
it
around
all
in?
come from?
Yeah. And
But
I mean,
if you're agnostic, you believe nothing came from nothing.
yeah,
Everything came
atheist.
from everything came from nothing.
Yes. How does that work? Yeah, it doesn't.
Agnostic believes nothing came from everything.
Atheist believes in nothing. Agnostic acknowledges what you, yeah, like you said, there's some, it all came from something, but not like God,
Right.
right? It's like, okay, that's kind of a cop out. No, yeah, it's something, just not what you say.
Right. Like that Rolex just poofed, man. Like if I
Yeah.
just throw enough rocks, I can make anything happen, man. If like why can't we create like Josh Monday and I had talked about why can't we just create stuff out of just explosions?
Yeah, you can't. They claim that CERN does, but it doesn't. They find particles, but I have yet to see them fucking create anything. They've not spoke of like a galaxy or a big bang or, you know, oh man, we got one particle to collide one time, I think.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, this shit's been running since the 80s, right? That we were looking at it or some shit. It's like,
Yeah.
come on. Anyway, they NASA gives a pretty good example though of like the how airplanes have their atomic clocks and satellites do. And when they're operating up above us, it's slower on Earth or than Earth. So like time here is going and the atomic clocks when they come back from being in orbit are behind. So they try to say like, okay, so that's a little bit of proof of the further we get away, time is relative, right? That's I never kind of really understood what that meant either. It took me a while in my life.
But
People
see,
are,
like it's almost like we were talking earlier, though. Like, I mean, everything's relative. Like when you're sitting there, time drags. When you're busy, like, it's a
exactly,
relative, right?
exactly. And I always tried to like think of it that way, you know, when I was younger and it never fucking worked out. But then when you started putting it in the sense of like, okay, of travel, you know, you're further away and these people up here, that's what they mean by relative, you know. If they feel that, you feel yours.
Right.
Um, fat people feel the effect of time, right? Like more than skinny people do when you're walking up a fucking mountain. Right? An hour
How
is way
many hours?
different.
Right, right.
An hour
Mm,
to them is way different than an hour to Michael Phelps in a swimming pool.
I don't know, dude. He's a stoner.
That has nothing to do with it. Fucking every NBA player is a stoner.
It
Half,
makes time go slower, bro. If
yeah,
you
oh
have
yeah,
more time.
hyper focused.
Exactly. Dude, and like adrenaline, man, like people talk about that, right? Like, I mean, when your adrenaline kicks, I mean, feels like, minutes or hours,
Dude,
you
that's
know?
let's see here. You know what? Let's fuck it. We're already kind of talking about it. Let's jump right into that part. They talk I wrote this whole bitch down, dude. Here it is. In 1983, bro, there was declassified documents that came about and it was called the Analysis Assessment of Gateway Process. And it was like a CIA program, dude, and it highlighted their program to achieve a heightened state of awareness or consciousness, and it will allow individuals to transcend physical reality and like access other dimensions. Okay. But they based it off of these out of body experiences from Robert Monroe. And it was the Robert Monroe from like Monroe University back in the day. And he would teach, dude, that like meditation, biofeedback, and then hemisync, which we'll talk about here. But like the meditation and the biofeedback is kind of like what you're saying, right? They would slow that shit down and get into like a heightened state, right?
Mhm.
And this dude's teaching was he gave like binaural beats. That's what the hemispheric synchronization was, the hemisync. And he would play two different beats frequencies in each side, and it would sync up your brain onto one frequency so that you no longer had your left and right hemisphere. And he believed that it would like alter your consciousness so that you could achieve a higher level. Dude, and he had
like what was that movie that seeing we're doing movie references like where he takes the pill Limitless or something where it connects all of his brain.
I
and
never
can use
fucking
all
saw
of his
that. Is it
brain.
tight?
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty good. But yeah, he takes a pill and it makes it so he can use all of his brain. So
Now
yeah,
see, that's tight. There's two types of ways Hollywood portrays that, right? Like you use all your brain and you're just a fucking stud. Like Brad, I know what you're talking about. Bradley Cooper in it, right?
yeah.
And he's like a whiz now at genius shit,
And
you
like
know,
an
in that.
addict too.
Yeah.
It's very addictive.
But you had to
Apparently.
didn't they have to do something to get the pill though? It was like something that was shitty.
Like, dude, it's like I forget, but like it was like a super rare pill, and like only so many people knew about it anyway.
Exactly. Or
And then like if everybody has it, is it useless?
dude, think about what's the one was what was it, Scarlett Johansson, Lucy,
Never saw that one.
where they unlocked 100% of her brain and she was like an entity, dude. Like, right? She no longer needed her fucking body and she could control everything with her mind and
Right,
create shit.
you could like use telekinesis almost.
Hmm.
Yeah.
It's like,
Gotcha.
dude, what if you could unlock 100% of that? Would you get the limitless body? What would you do? Let's do it right now. What would be your choice?
Dude, like I I don't know. He didn't really use it like for telekinesis and stuff. See, I think telekinesis would be the way to go. I mean,
Well,
who likes getting up and doing anything? Like you could just do stuff.
what
Just
if I
think about
told
it. It's
you
done.
in the Lucy movie, they when the government finds out that she's capable of this stuff, bro, she becomes like wanted. I'm not talking wanted like how your exes want you. I'm talking
No.
like, yo, your poster's up on the wall, dead or alive, wanted. I mean, you got the ultimate fucking power. What are they gonna do?
Right, right.
I
I
think
do
she
like
can
my
like
dog though.
you could leave. You could take your dog with you. You could alter time.
I'd already be 10 steps ahead of them anyways, no matter
Bro,
what.
you'd I think if we could access 100% of here, we wouldn't even be like on this realm. I think
But
that's
I
probably when
think
we're
you'd
with
almost be
Jesus.
autistic, like super like savant, dude. Like just autistic almost, you know? You'd be
I read not too long ago that that is now what they referred to as cavemen.
really.
Yep. They there's a thing that I've been reading going around that it wasn't like autism today would be like what cavemen were. Still fully functioning, capable of doing everything, just more so grunts or
Hyper super focused on certain things though.
exactly. And so they see there's traits that they're finding with more people doing like DNA and all this stuff that they're turning in that more Neanderthal blood has fucking like autism. And
That
so
would
they're
make sense though, because like I mean if they're hyper focused on one thing, you know, like man, really want a better way for like things to roll. You know, like oh, okay, cool. You know,
exactly, dude. It makes fucking sense.
right?
And so this guy's teaching, right? It was when he did the hemispheric stuff, dude, and you had just got me into this because you're like, like athletes and stuff, or Michael Phelps, they get in that stoner sense. Dude, his was like based on focus levels, quote unquote, is what he called them. And they had level 3 to level 21. And they were straight on things. And level 3 was like your ordinary focus, oh man, time to take a test. Remembering what I'm saying. I'm looking at the numbers. That's what I'm doing. But then
Mm.
like level 10, your mind was awake, but your body was asleep. So like you were inherently relaxed in your body, but very alert in your mind. Almost
Kind of
like,
like Adderall.
yes, right?
Gotcha.
Adderall. Sometimes it kind of made me think of sleep paralysis.
Right.
I was like, damn.
dude, I remember, yeah, like those times that I took Adderall, like pretty sure that's what you had. But
I could get whatever.
yeah, I don't know whatever pills you didn't like that I was like, yeah, I'll try it.
Yeah, we'll try it.
Man, that was some of the best grades I ever got
It'll
because I
do it
was
like
just
that.
there. Like, I mean, I was just physically there. That was it. But like my brain was just like very just
That's trippy though, too, if you
methed
think
out,
about it.
methed
Yeah,
out.
it's that limitless pill. And then
Yeah.
people go, man, if this could do that, I wonder what just a fucking bong rip of meth will do. Well,
Pretty much.
it'll have you naked on top of a cop car, okay?
In no time.
Yeah, in no time. Um, so yeah, like that's level 10, dude. And this bitch goes to 21. So I wrote down just a couple of them. 12 is these are like the important ones where shit really shifts. You're expanded your awareness, and it's the first stage where you like can actually start experiencing these out of body experiences. And that sounds crazy, dude, but I think even level 12 could be like your Michael Phelps, like you were saying. You know, these motherfuckers that go on here, they get this shit done, and they're like, oh fuck, I was running and I saw myself like from above, you know, I was just out of it, right? You know, they say
Right.
that oh, you know, I was fucking racing and I could just see myself outside that car. You know, they're always
Right,
saying
right.
this.
And like a lot of like dudes from like that'll get in intense firefights will be like, dude, I almost
I
like
was going to
saw
ask you,
the battlefield from like a bird's eye view of what exactly, like I could see
dude,
the
yeah.
guys like coming around like different covers and stuff. Like, dude, you had an out of body experience while in combat. Like, wow, that's an advantage, man.
I mean,
Like you
yeah, is
get
that
third person view. Wow.
you just fully break down to your training, you know? Are you out of your body at that point?
Yeah, I mean, kind of. Like
Mm-hmm.
you're reacting. You're not thinking, you're reacting.
Exactly, right? I feel that way. And I was going to ask you that because there were stories that I read where people on their out of body experiences at this university that he studied, a lot of it was in like war situations and things, you know, where it was heightened stress too, you know, not a lot of it's enjoyment. You
Right,
know,
right,
you can feel out of body and very euphoric and like great times, but you never leave in these
right.
stories, you know. But when things are like high stress, it's almost like you're out
Great,
there.
great victims get that. They
Mm-hmm. Very
they have
much.
like they'll go into a that's crazy. So
Yeah.
it definitely comes with a lot of stress then. Like
Dude, and that's not
and adrenaline comes with that too. So I mean,
it's not your now I am no this might get me fucking roasted right here. But that's like one of if you think about it, a way of time travel, you know, you're leaving space and time. And it's not always, oh man, I jumped to 1964, you know. A
yeah,
lot of this government shit, you know, even though they try to claim, oh man, it fucking we don't document that. We don't practice time travel. A lot of it is though them trying to figure out how you could just, you know, your mind leaves.
right,
Not a lot of people take the physical body. That's more of like a religious or like a woo woo aspect of it, you know, which don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that's not possible. Jesus went to fucking hell for 3 days, you know,
right,
and preached down in there. So I know, you know, that shit's different. I mean, it's also Jesus, not not a regular person, but it exists. I'll get roasted for that one too. Um, so yeah, that's number 12. I think that's like where the first out of body experiences happen, you know, but I think it's still in the possible realm of just like everyday life shit too, you know? So it's not
yeah,
so far fetched. But then you get into like focus level 15, right? And there's only 21 levels. So 15 is pretty up there. And it's where like the subject is in a state of no time. So they leave. They explore consciousness outside of that. So maybe like you were saying, you know, those victims, maybe that's that, right? They're, oh man, it felt like 40 minutes and really it was 3 seconds, you know, or 3 minutes, you know.
Right.
because those little grape willy fools can't do it for longer than that anyways, you know.
Right. And
Yeah.
see, and when your mind is altered, like you don't really have a good perception of time. Like
At all.
like when the cops are asking you the questions, you know, like, okay, tell me when 30 seconds has passed, and you'll blow the time perception. You
Yeah,
know?
they literally ask you, were you on anything? Are you under any influence right now when we're asking you
Right.
these questions?
Right.
It's because they know an altered mind doesn't perceive things naturally.
Right.
And you don't have to just be on fucking drugs to alter your mind, right? There's
Sure.
throughout everything, bro. I wrote down a bunch of shit here. Like yogi practitioners, right? They were said to be able to like meditate into a state of controlling time where they could slow it down or speed it up. And dude, this is like 500 BC time, you know, so these are people way back when that have been practicing it for now. So today, this shit is honed. You know,
Right.
these practices where they sit down and I found a story of a Buddha who did this, and they say he's been in his body for like 2,000 years and he's still alive. And
Oh yeah, that like slowed his heart rate
Mhm.
kind of thing. Yeah.
And
Like
has this motherfucker done this? Did he leave? He slowed the
right.
time and just meditated out. He's like, actually, it's only been 2 weeks
Right.
instead of 2,000 years.
It's
That's pretty
crazy.
crazy, dude.
Like you
It's
just
wild.
go that far third person. Is that the
Hmm.
key?
That's wild. That's Obi-Wan Kenobi status right there. You know,
It is.
you get your head fucking chopped off and you're good to go. That's a big gamble, right?
Yeah,
Thinking
man.
you'd be the most powerful, knowing Anakin's the
Was
most fucking
that
powerful.
did they bury that guy?
Can you bury Obi-Wan?
No, no, not Obi-Wan, the monk.
No,
No, well, he
no.
wasn't the one who kept trying to like semi-die, I guess.
I
Maybe
think
that's one of their rituals.
this one's
Or
on
something.
display, like his body's encased.
Like kind of like a mummy thing, yeah.
I don't know. I mean, your body would have to atrophy and shit after that long, whether you were there or not.
Right.
You ever seen
Yeah.
that Disney movie John Carter of Mars? Okay. A lot of people hated it. It fucking flopped at the theaters, dude. I loved it. But this guy finds like in cowboy time like a golden bracelet and it's the key to like he goes to sleep and his fucking consciousness and everything leaves, but his body stays here and he's in like futuristic Mars. But he's got like superpowers because he comes from Earth's gravity. It's pretty tight.
Hmm.
But anyway, that just made
He's
me
like a
think of that.
Superman because he's from Earth.
Exactly. It's
That'd be
exactly
cool.
like a spin-off, right? The
Right?
moon or the sun or whatever. Yeah. Um, there's time travel's been around though for fucking ever, dude. Though the Mahabharata, I would assume. I'm hoping I said that right. I
Your turn
practiced
for
it
the
a
names.
bunch. It's a Sanskrit poem, so it's Indian, and it's long, but it's got a bunch of weird shit in it, dude. And there's parts where time can be like experienced in different ways that they've shown. And you've heard of Brahma, you know, like the entity, the god, the bullhead, shit like that, right? So there's a story in one of these things. I don't think it's the Mahabharata, but it's part of that society, right? And there's a guy who goes up and he's part of like a king party, and he goes up to ask for a girl's hand in marriage, but he has to ask Brahma. And while he's waiting, he's visiting the higher entity who is Brahma, so it's already supernatural. But while he's up there and out of this space and time and waiting, it's like a 20-minute song, dude, that Brahma's listening to. And the king comes back and it's Kakudmi, that's his name. He waits 20 minutes for Brahma to listen to the song, dude. Millions of years on Earth pass. Now, who's to say how far away he was from Earth, okay? Because, like they say, time is relative. In there. Speaking of which, this reminds me. I read an article. Okay, while I was looking through this and trying to find like NASA's kind of definition, let's find a real part of time travel. Okay. Let's find what actually is here. They were trying to be like, well, the things we view from the Hubble telescope. Okay. And right, we're talking the Hubble, which took these fantastical fucking pictures, bro. I started reading, and right on NASA's site, I took a screenshot of it. I'll send it to you on my fucking phone after this. It says, we have blah, blah, blah pictures, and da, 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 even though the Hubble telescope has never left our solar system or Earth's gravitational force. I was like, how the fuck's it got these pictures way the fuck out there? Earth's gravitational force, so it never got fucking past like what, where the moon can't hold on anymore?
Yeah,
That's fucking weird, right?
that is.
Dude, straight on NASA's site.
Huh.
You know why it doesn't go past our gravitational force? Because there's a fucking firmament. Nothing can go past there. Yeah, call me crazy. That's not
No.
this episode, but I read that because I was looking into the fucking. It's like, yeah, the Hubble telescope technically is letting you look back in time at these pictures, and I was like, yeah, it is. And then I read that 2 lines down, and I'm like, well, this is a fucking lie.
Yeah.
What pictures are you seeing from Earth's fucking gravitational force? Nothing different than what our telescopes are seeing down here, I'm sure. Well, like not mine, but a powerful one.
Right.
And are you really looking back in time if you're just seeing light?
Because
It traveled.
like the way you see things is with light, right? So right now I'm seeing you in the past.
Yes.
Always. You're always seeing stuff in the past.
That bullshit of us seeing in the past because we're looking at light that's coming at us from millions of miles away, that's such a fucking cop out to me, bro. That's like saying if a time traveler came to me, he's in our time now, right? But oh no, he's actually wearing 1920s clothes, so it's 1920. Yeah, no, fucking not. Right? It's 2024.
Yeah.
I don't get it. It doesn't make sense to me. He'd be experiencing time here, which is relative to him.
Yes.
Here. Not in,
It's the same.
although, okay, so rules of time travel, right? Stephen Hawking believes that nature has a built-in like fail-safe for you time traveling because you would create another one of yourself if you had to create all new matter. If you go forward, you're jumping into, Stephen Hawking believed if you went forward, we're talking Stephen Hawking obviously because he's fucking was smart, and the man that they thought about on this kind of shit. But if you jump forward, you're jumping into something that's going to happen anyways, essentially. If you go back in time though, you're creating your matter back there as well. And he said that would create like a paradox where there's your present self and your past self
It would have to exist
at the same time.
So then you'd be cloning.
What happens? What happens if
Who's gonna win the fight?
are you allowed to touch? Like, what's the paradox? What what happens if somebody from like you meet yourself?
And you touch each other.
I mean, there's infinite timelines according to these guys who time travel.
One of you just instantly die.
I don't know. There's sages and saints, okay? We all know what those are, sages and stuff. They're like, old school yogi or magic practitioners, they bless and give you the astrology and stuff like that still on a natural level as well. They practice these things called siddhis, Siddhis. So it could be siddhis. Could be wrong. American cities. But they believed they were like supernatural abilities that they could gain through meditation. And part of those would be the ability to leave their body and traverse time and space to another point. Now, I bring that up because the government tries that, with like the remote viewing and whatnot. So it's like, has this been that long, and they've been pinpointing for a fucking 1,000 fucking years trying to do this, or have they just known the whole time? These are just things. I mean, none of it's provable, but
Right.
I think we're figuring this shit out. There's a type of like time travel too called anima, and you can essentially you become so small that you're like outside of time, which is weird.
So like ant time would be different than my time.
Have to be, right?
They still do the same day. They
The
actually
sun
work
and
less hours than me, I noticed.
yeah, the sun and moon though, right? You think every creature goes off light and dark for their time. Do they? Like, does a dog know day and night?
Does a hummingbird think like what a whole week has passed while he's been flying, and then like a hawk is like, man, this takes forever.
Right? That's what I want to know. How would you know that, unlike other people who don't? I mean, we can't say they don't have consciousness or whatnot, but do they experience time like that?
Like
Because
I
they
don't know,
say
dude. Like
dog years,
flies,
right?
like say a fly, like how fast they are. Like,
How quick
dude,
they
like
die.
yeah, like
Do they
maybe their
experience a
experience.
lifetime in 3 days?
Right. They're like, man, that guy's slow, you know? Like, and like, here I am moving as fast as I can. And like, they're like, man, that was like last week, you
So
know?
it has to be though. Okay, so like the science behind this. Okay, so there's special relativity, or what we're saying, the time dilation. And that's Einstein said in 1905, time's relative and it varies to the observer at its different speeds. So it has to, it's crazy that it can exist together at the same time. Like it's crazy right now if it does, if the ISS truly is up there with astronauts, and I'm here right now in the same exact time, that we could both be looking at our watches and theirs is different than mine. It's trippy to me.
It is. But
And
dude, they're also only like I was watching your boy, Neil deGrasse Tyson. And he said like it's like two dimes like stacked on top of each other is all like as far as that is.
two
No, it's
dimes,
just yeah, yeah.
that's what space is that?
As I think that is what he said for being in no 1 centimeter off the earth is how far that is. And like as far as like what everybody's now considering space is like no, the moon would be like a centimeter. And like we're like on a normal size globe, right?
That's how fucking far away space really is from us.
That's how far the moon is.
Get the fuck out of here.
Is a centimeter away. That's freaking close to a globe, dude. Think about that.
Yeah. I mean, it's stuck in its gravitational field. What is it? Only 296,000 miles from us. That's not very far, which is crazy that it appears the same size as the sun.
It is.
Nor here nor
Like,
there.
and dude, bullets even. Like we go into minutes of angle. Like it's interesting how you get like angles off of time even. You know, like our
Do
very
you?
basis of like everything is off time, dude.
It's truth. It is. Like, isn't that how like your snipers and shit get trained?
Yeah, they do
Like they tell
mills,
you,
but it's yeah, same kind of.
like their clicks are like seconds dropping or some shit like that when they tell them.
Yeah, it's like I mean, you'll have so dude, the guy who shot Trump in the head, right? He had about with that setup, dude, all it would have taken is a 4 power, and your minutes of angle dropped significantly with that rifle. So
Mhm.
like with that red dot on there, man, Trump's head was in the dot, but those rounds are 3 minutes of angle, which is 3 inches at 100 yards.
Yeah, so
And
you hit
so
the ear instead of the eye.
at 150, that's what 4.5 inches any which way. So,
Um, I was seeing my
and
wife
that's a
had
perfect shot.
my wife. Yeah, that's why it hit there. My wife was saying how the Simpsons had predicted the Trump dying in September this year, and then of course, it made my algorithm that. And dude, there's all these people like astrology this, astrology that, which I don't know if I'm.
Who gets to make up all the astrology stuff, dude?
I
Do I get to
know.
make up astrology?
Yeah, I don't. The Bible warned against that. It says not to fucking do that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so a lot of people believe something will happen to Trump this month. And I'm like, well, didn't they like up his special counsel and now they are sentencing him on it this month? I could have sworn I read something like that. I could be wrong, but who knows? I mean, we got a computer right here and I'm not looking, but I'm pretty sure he doesn't get to whatever he wanted to wait for after the election isn't going to happen. It's going to happen this month.
Hmm.
We'll see. I
Well, I
could be
mean, it's
wrong.
like the last month to try to pull some punches, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, shit'll get crazy in November.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of your boy Trump, see how I did
My
that
boy.
since you said my boy fucking Neil
Fine,
deGrasse.
fine. Guess who gets Kamala, sucker?
Yeah, right. Dude, I don't know. What if something happens to Kamala, right? There's no way.
No, dude. Like nothing. The world would never be so fortunate to get rid of her.
Biden has to die before anything happens to Kamala. How is he still in fucking charge?
I mean, was he?
No, it's always been the
Dude, you
deep
can't
state.
tell me that's a stutter. I hate that excuse. Like, oh, he's stuttering. Dude, I've heard people. I stutter a
Yeah,
lot, and
he
that is
he
not a stutter.
forgets.
Yep, that's dementia. That's what that is.
Absolutely. That's why that was so fucking weird, dude. When he was talking and he just stopped and goes, "What are you doing?" and then just went back to talking. It was like, did we just catch a glimpse of your handlers? And something went off haywire, and you're like, hold on, we're
Right, like somebody's like forgot to hit the mute button when they were like talking to the other guy.
they put something on the teleprompter, and he's like, what? No, fuck, I can't read that. um, Trump, right? So there's some. Let's get weird here. There's some time travel speculation behind Trump, okay, and that he possibly may have been privy to some information his first term in office. Okay. And it all came to truth or to light, not truth. I don't know why I said truth. It ain't truth. Well, it might be. We don't know. Um, Ingersoll Lockwood, the publishing company, made a book called Baron Trump's Marvelous Underground Journey in 1888. So, well before Trump. Okay.
136 years ago.
Yeah. Nothing weird, but there's a character in there titled Baron Trump. All right. That's Donald Trump's son now. And in the book, Baron Trump is guided by a rich man on Fifth Avenue in New York titled Don. And Donald Trump lives on Fifth Ave in New York. Okay. Now, well, in that book, they travel to Russia. Donald's the rich man, and he's Baron's guide, takes him there, and they go through a portal, and it takes them underground in time travel. Okay. What's weird is there's another book. It's a series of books. There's one right after called The Last President, and it's about the same thing, but New York has become like in upheaval, and they're all, the citizens are in dismay because
Christians, vote for me. You'll never
you'll
have to
never
vote
vote again.
again.
I'll make sure of it. Um, because after this, right, it's somebody they oppose who wins this election, and the last president, dude, and they like marched down to Fifth Ave to protest, which would be where, and it's where fucking Trump lives today in New York. Okay. Not only that, in this book, The Last President, dude, Trump or Donald, the last president or whoever, with this whole Baron and this whole fucking thing, that the man in charge appoints a man to his cabinet to help him lead named Pence.
No shit.
No fucking shit, bro.
Well, they got the like. I don't think Pence would do it again, right?
No.
Like no, because who is Trump's running mate? It's that
JD Vance.
JD Vance. Yeah.
Yeah. Nobody likes that fuck
Yeah.
either. Vance, Pence. Anyway, what I thought was fucking weird, okay? There still has been the thing that like nobody, there's still the QAnon conspiracy theory that Trump never gave up his presidency. There's still the conspiracy theory that the deep state is running that shit behind. If some of that's true, then was Trump the last president? Or maybe it's happening now, like some people we know have mentioned, and he will be this last president. So I had found those. And at the same time that Ingersoll Lockwood was living in New York and wrote this, dude, it was the same time Nikola Tesla lived there. And we all know Tesla, right? And Donald Trump's like grandpa or uncle or whoever the fuck it was got when the FBI confiscated all of Tesla's shit, he got it. Trump's family did in real life. They got the paperwork and like the info. Yeah.
Dude,
So, dude, right?
people know about this?
People know about this
Why isn't everybody?
because, man, people like to live their regular fucking life.
Yeah, we care about the game on Sunday more than we
Yeah,
care
nobody
about the
wants to
shit.
know that they've all been put in place or like there might be this whole fucking pipeline of shit set up from the beginning. Nobody wants to know they were lied to. It's that simple.
It's like they're just doing stuff out of a book now. Like, let's see if they read this one.
Dude, right? It's fucking wild. Okay, so did like here we go. The Stephen Hawking stuff I fucking already kind of went over, dude. And like the two people, you know, and all that stuff, but I wanted to be like, okay, if these guys are diving into it, dude, what does the government think of this? Because there's obviously, dude, that costs money to do this type of shit, right? And these people who are like main figures in society speak of it. So there's a theory and an idea for it, right? Something had to have been there. So I was like, well, fuck it, dude. What's the US government think? They don't publicly confirm their experiments, programs, or funding in the government, but they do have like history of it. Okay. So in 83, I told you about the gateway process where they could allow individuals to transcend the physical shit, right? That was just one of them, dude. They had this Project Pegasus. This one doesn't have any there's like FOIA and documents on what was that first one I told you about, the gateway one. Okay.
Yeah.
That's an actual real thing. CIA on it and all that shit. Project Pegasus doesn't have CIA documentation on it, but the program, like it was housed within, is documented. Like Project Stargate is literally unsealed and it's on
Did
FOIA,
you ever
right?
did you ever get into that show?
It's my favorite shit, dude.
Stargate? Really?
Yeah. Oh
You
fuck yeah.
watched Stargate?
Dude, when I
You
was like
nerd.
10 years old on at night, that came on.
Man, that's what you were watching?
I had a black and white TV and I only got like channel 22.
Oh,
I watched fucking MASH, Stargate, whatever else, Frasier, Seinfeld. What did you watch?
my parents had cable. So
In your bedroom?
after not in my bedroom, but I would stay down on the couch and like just fake asleep and then they'd just let me stay down there. And then I'd just be like cruising through Skinamax after 11.
Your parents come down, you're like, I just Pinocchio, nothing.
Just- Nick at night, Nick at night.
Yeah, shit. Sorry.
We're
That's
sitting here.
funny.
No, dude, I'd watch like also Happy, what was that, Happy Days?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, the Fonz.
I wasn't allowed to be like, this is before we moved into fucking Kersey, right? Like in the
Yeah,
trailer
because
and
you
shit.
had satellite once you moved to Cruise. I know
Oh,
that
yeah,
'cause
dude.
you had the good. You had MTV and stuff.
Yeah, that shit was in my
All
room.
I
I could
had
watch
was
my
fucking
own.
and all I had was fucking VH1, bro.
Yeah, VH. Pop-up video was still worthy on VH1 when we were young.
It wasn't Insomnia music video. Mm,
We were
yeah.
able to watch it. I think so. I mean, in my room at the trailer, though, before I moved into town, dude, it was just like I had to turn the top knob to like UH3 and then the bottom knob, like turn the
Yeah.
channels. It was all black and
I
white.
remember those ones.
Bunny ear antennas, you know.
Yeah.
We sound old. Now I get made fun of. My kid's 14, you know, and he fucking tells me, oh, was that even a thing when you were alive? I'm like, dude, I'm from the 80s.
Right. Like we used to like put needles inside um like aluminum foil to make our own like rabbit ears, dude. I
Yeah. Oh,
remember.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess the 80s are that foreign now to public,
I know.
to the new generation. We're old.
Yeah.
I did wear my Romanowski jersey out the other day, and somebody was like, who's 53? And I was like, damn, I'm that old.
Man.
Yeah, my sports heroes are fucking dead to the world.
Right? Like, you never heard of John Elway either, or what?
Travel back in time for that one. Save the old Tim Tebow trade. Don't do that shit.
Like quarterbacks are well renowned forever.
Some of
Like
them.
there's only like just a handful of like wide receivers and stuff there. Like you got your
Yeah.
Jerry Rices and then like, a couple of running backs. But, yeah.
And they had to do something spectacular to get there. You know?
Yeah.
I forgot why we were in the gateway process. We never said level 21 of the focus, the top
Oh,
level
yeah.
you could get to, right? Obviously, that was the bridge to the future, is what they had titled it. And you could, well, you may, it's always may, right? Well, you may have a chance to win 100,000. Okay, so I may even have a chance. So there's two chances. What the fuck?
Right.
Anyway, the bridge to the future. So you may encounter other dimensions or existence. So if you reach level 21, you were able to fucking out, baby.
You were out there.
Yeah, you were seeing other shit. You were traveling. You were time traveling. Project Pegasus. Okay. This was under Project Stargate. It was ran by DARPA. Okay. DARPA back in the fucking 60s and 70s defense. They designed experiments involving time travel and teleportation, dude. And this one's fucking cool, right? Andrew D. Basiago, something. Anyway, he was a lawyer. He's the one who started bringing this to light and claiming that he was actually a subject, dude. Along with they use like future leaders to prepare them as children for what would be coming in the future. He claimed Barack Obama was also one with him in Project Pegasus, but they used the chronovisor, and that's something we kind of had gone over once, and the Vatican is said to have had it, but it could send people, including children, to different points in time and space. So it projected, dude, it was claimed to have been built by Tesla off of his shit, obviously, and it projected images like holograms of the past and present wherever you wanted to go, and then you could like step into that era.
Gotcha.
But they used children because it was like less stress on the body for some reason. So a lot of people, that have these claims are older, and they were like, no, it happened when I was a kid, and it's a way for people to be like, man, it's fucking fantastical, not real. But I mean, maybe it's because they're more open-minded, they haven't been blocked through there yet. That's why they use children, because they can still believe that you could time travel.
Right.
Could be. He also claimed that they had a program, or that his proof, dude, is a photo he shows of the Gettysburg Address, and he claims he went back to watch Lincoln give that, and there's a photograph with him in it. Couldn't find it, but I mean, can you really? Is the person who really would be in that photograph here to say, "Nah, fool, that's me.
Right.
That's fucking George, not you." So I mean, you can't really claim that either. But I like to. I would believe him. I feel like if he told me.
If you told me.
He's a lawyer. He's probably good at talking, huh?
Yeah, he would believe a lawyer, huh?
This Project Pegasus also claims could send these motherfuckers to Mars, and we've had secret US government bases there since the 70s. So we could just project humans up to there and back. It's identified under, the program Stargate, which does have the FOIA documents on. So it is real. And then there's this Al Bilek, and he's out here claiming that he was part of the Philadelphia experiment, where they used the same Tesla technology to create like a force field to wrap time, and it sent the naval ship to the Philadelphia fucking
Oh yeah.
pier, brought him back. He claims that they sent him to 1980, even though he was from the 40s, to like shut him up about it, so that he would seem like a kook. But then he was also involved on the Montauk project, which still was like just a new version of the Philadelphia experiment. Like they had garnered it further down into making it nice and like, oh, we've really honed our time travel ability here. So I'm like, all right, the government's got these things that they're fucking trying. They've got programs, they got verified programs. Okay, Project Pegasus, not verified, but Stargate is. Project Looking Glass was the coronavisor too, where they could project and see areas and try to travel to those. That's in documentation. So I'm like, man, these motherfuckers is lying to us. And we can't leave out the Simpsons.
Yeah, dude, they're pretty spot on.
Dude, Matt Groening, a lot of people believe that maybe he had ties to Ingersoll Lockwood, and that could be why Ingersoll Lockwood has a lot of weird shit associated with him, and then Matt Groening knows all the things he does.
Dude, like it's only got to be like second to MASH in episodes.
That's what they try to say too. Well, there's been so many episodes, of course they get it all right. I'm like, dude, they're predicting obscure fucking shit.
Right. And
to the T.
It's very obscure to the T. Like the whole Trump escalator thing, like that
Yeah.
is how like
People
unless
wearing
they
the
played that
same
out.
fucking clothes.
Yeah. It's insane to me. And
He has
had,
denied all allegations of time travel. Matt
like,
Groening.
yeah, I'm sure. Of course. Because you don't want to be that Lucy, right?
Exactly it, dude. It's because Trump's in these things, dude, because Trump was a fucking time traveler. He's got access to some shit.
Mhm.
You have access to the fucking Tesla files, and these are like, these are ways, bro, that they think they can time travel. The special relativity was just a time dilation, bro, but they also, like in 1915, Einstein went into general relativity where it was like gravity, and it's the wormholes you're talking about and stuff. And that's what Tesla figured out. Tesla figured out that gravity could be stronger in some parts and create a force field that could alter the time within that field. And it makes sense, dude. Also, let me ask you this. If satellites and like planes and stuff experience different time up there, say we we've got a piece of metal on the ISS that can last 3 years. Does it technically last 3 years in like 4 days because it's up in space?
Should,
Right?
right? Yeah.
Do we have to have space time up there?
It's weird to me.
Why does it have to be that? Right? It's really hard for me to grip my head around that. Like, why, if we created time, then why is it slower up there?
Yeah, because we're the ones who created it.
What really,
But it's based off of light speed, though.
what really fucks with me, dude, is like nature affects time, but we made a clock. Like man made a clock. But
Yeah.
nature, something we got no fucking control over it, can literally fuck with a man-made construct. Like, and I'm not talking in a way of like, well, yeah, fucking hurricanes disrupt shit, it can
Dude, like,
blow up
think
a building.
about
I'm talking like it slows down time, right? You
how
leave
we,
and Mother Nature knows how to literally slow down the concept of time without us telling it, without us doing it, even though we had to create said time. We had to
Yeah.
make the fucking clock.
yeah, and we had to understand a circle, make it into degrees, into a number that was divisible, like, dude. And then, like, well, I guess that's how we ended up with it, like, because they were like, okay, well, how many degrees is a circle? Because you could also do mils, which is like more of an artillery thing where there's 6,400 of them, so your angles are a lot less,
It's just
but
fucking weird to me.
like the one that really I think gets weird too is the idea of it being in another dimension, essentially.
How?
Because I mean, it would be kind of, because you wouldn't see the world the way you see it now
No,
necessarily.
no, and like Interstellar's weird to me. I don't understand, how he gets so far away and he's gone for fucking not very long, and his daughter, her whole life has passed. Like, that's my question. I get that you're far away from us, but how did it just go away to his human body, Like, how is time not the fucking same?
On the human body, right? You
Dude, I
should
don't
still
get it.
have Earth years on your body, right?
Maybe I'm just that fucking
If I'm
dense.
80 years old on Earth, how old am I going to be in space?
Yeah, how do I have another 60 years outside of space?
I just have to go further.
Yeah.
That's the
So
key
it's
to
like
forever life. You
they're
go
like
further out.
they're like, dude, you're gonna die in 2 years.
But you can do that just in your mind.
Can I leave space for a year or leave Earth for a year and let, however far away I go, say 100 years passes on Earth. So now I come back, I'm 199 years old. They're like, bro, you had one more year to live. I leave again, come back. Do I die in that year in space? Or do I die in the 1 year on Earth that happens? And technically like 10 minutes in the fucking eternity of space away or whatever it is. What would
These
kill
are
me?
the questions. These are the questions. Do you die of, like, does anybody actually die of old age though?
Do you think time travel's real? Like, do you think the way that they say you could time travel? I think I understand the the concept of light time travel.
Yeah.
Do you think though?
I don't understand the whole it being another dimension, right? Like I don't know how you would see it differently
Me either.
unless it's like third person, but then that's just third person, you know?
You're getting into like, what is that? Quantum physics,
Yeah, that's
which is
essentially
like a
what it
huge
all is.
basis for time travel.
Right.
It's all from quantum physics.
Yeah.
And if it's all tied on one linear plane, then it's all happening at once. See, how does that make sense? If it's all happening at once, too, like they say on time on a linear plane, then how
Yeah.
the fuck do you get old?
Exactly.
Are you already dead?
If it's all on a linear plane, it can't, how do you go off of that for your age? Because you go further from Earth? You're just like, okay, now I don't have to play by the rules.
It's all tied to Earth. That's fucking weird.
Huh.
Are we really that sentient to Earth? We have to be, though. I mean, like gravity affects us here because we're born here.
Right.
If you're born on
Gravity
fucking
and like
Venus,
I get like of course you wouldn't look that old because like gravity doesn't affect your body then, right? If you're out in space.
is gravity what ages us?
Kind of.
Gravity's not fucking
Doesn't
real.
help.
I'll say that right now for anybody listening.
How do your ball sack so low, Michael? Huh? Huh?
Because they're big old fucking meaty motherfuckers.
Telling you, dude.
Because they never stop growing.
Neither do your ears or your nose.
It's not gravity. It's like
Oh,
static
yeah?
buoyancy.
Tell that to the ladies in Africa who don't wear bras.
Well, yeah, but they free hang. So like their static buoyancy is different rather than my structure of my
They're free
body.
hanging, exactly.
Man, my balls. So their static
Gravity.
buoyancies can fluctuate, you know?
Like more years, more gravity, bro.
You can't prove gravity.
I don't know that you can disprove it though either.
Well, it's a theory. If it didn't exist, if nobody told you about this theory, you would believe in something else. But you can prove static buoyancy and electrostatics and positive and negative ions in the atmosphere. Nobody can tell you that that's not there.
So we're stuck here by static electricity.
Essentially.
So then all we got to do is move it around a little bit, and then we should be able to float. For one,
ride our
B,
magic
time
dragons,
travel.
bro. Ride our magic dragons. I mean, come on, you see sound vibrations and electricity.
True.
You see those conductor discs that they use and like put it on a plate to energize it, and then it lifts through electricity.
It's crazy. Like even when like it gets super cold, how the things even just move themselves because it's just like becomes like almost an electromagnet in itself.
That's really fucking tight.
It's insane.
There's secrets that they're not telling us, dude.
You think there's like a perpetual motion that you could actually make work then?
Water.
If gravity. If gravity's not real.
They say the
Perpetual.
ocean is the only perpetual motion machine on this planet. Because it's tidal locked with the moon.
Right. It's just the bulge is all.
So is it
always towards the moon, right?
Is that technically a perpetual motion machine, or is the moon the accelerant?
It's not a machine.
Is it? How is it not?
I mean, I guess technically.
Working parts. I mean, I call it a machine. I mean, because you could use it for stuff, but it's the only perpetual motion shit we know of. There's nothing else that makes its own energy. Maybe these farts. You know, you got all these cow farts out here creating methane and shit.
Let's see, it still came from nothing, or it came from something. Everything else comes from something.
Exactly. So with like wormholes, okay, with the theory of relativity that Einstein says, where gravity can slow it down, and then wormholes say that like it can slow down so much that you might run into what they call closed time-like curves. And these wormholes could essentially wrap and hit you here, and then you're stuck in the past. You're stuck in like a loop of the past because the gravity is so strong it pulled it into itself. You can essentially never get to the future path. That could be a problem, okay? Wormholes are purely speculation though, because it's horseshit, dude. They say the evidence of the theory of general relativity, right? The gravity slowing down time. They say the evidence is black holes. But then they don't have any like evidence of a black hole. So how do you have the evidence of the black hole slowing down time? Right? It's all purely speculation because they look at these things and go, we could see like time
density
warping.
would almost have to do with, like you said, like does a fat dude fucking age slower?
He has to, right? Dude, that's such a good point too. Because think of like how many fat people got these baby faces,
It's true. So
right?
heart disease catches up.
Yeah, that ain't time, motherfucker. You out of it. Oh, that's wild. That's brutal too. You just keep it fucking brutal right there.
Sorry.
Um,
I'm 5'4", so
yeah,
it's okay. I gotta
yeah.
take my stabs in when I get them.
gravity's been gravity's been easy on you.
I don't know, dude. It's the density thing. So I mean, I'm technically kind of dense, you know. Sure.
Truth. You're carrying
H.
heavier ions. You got to let it
Yeah.
go, bro. Whatever you're carrying, just release it.
Just let it come. Gotta do some meditation, man.
Yes, astral travel. You know, mentally. Um, in the occult world, time travel and like space manipulation is huge. Okay, it's always like a goal. Oh man, we're gonna go somewhere else. But see, they fuck around, dude. They always
Regular
be
colds too, really.
they be using entities and like they're always asking for something to do it for them, and that's a no-no, right? You never know what you're going to get with those, first of all. And then they got the grimoire, which is like occult teaching books. They got one called The Secret of Time Travel, and it offers spells and rituals, literally how to do it by invoking entities, dude. So to like gain your visions or travel to other realms. But then you gotta think, if you're invoking this entity to do that, it's probably gonna be his realm. It's
Yeah.
probably not gonna be what you want. Now that's where Astaroth.
I don't think invoking anything other than the fifth is a good idea.
Absolutely. Shut the fuck up, right? I ain't saying nothing. I invoke the fifth, sir, and I need my lawyer.
Right? And once you go invoking like spirits and stuff.
Yeah, bad. The big one in this is Astaroth, okay? And he was the god of time and chaos, and he was essentially known, dude, he would give you anything you wanted. Secrets, I mean, past, present, future, learnings. He could take you places, and easily too, because he took from you. So he'd fucking give you whatever you wanted, okay? When I was looking into Astaroth, dude, he is this of course, right? He's the same figure in time as Hermes Trismegistus or whatever, the fucking
Right.
first
Sun God.
Antichrist.
Yeah.
Yep. He's the same as Ishtar. He was a goddess woman who was punished and disfigured to look like this man now. Yeah, it's fucking weird, right? So I was like, oh, well, of course, to get what you want, just try to worship Satan here. That's the occult symbolism. Like, just do it. You'll get your own, through your own self.
Right.
It's always
Yeah.
tied back to that in the occult.
Yeah,
So
always do to thyself. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, that's that's not safe, especially right. Like if you time travel and you head into a different area, like an astral plane or dimensional area, and you ask this entity to do it, how the fuck are you going to ask that entity to get back? Is that
Yeah, like they think about how to get it out, but not like, hey, go back.
yeah? So there's
It
just
becomes like how the mummy happens, right? Or like, yeah.
mm-hmm. I wrote down I want to end it on the rules for time traveling. If we let us know out there. If you guys are some people that can time travel, we want to have you on this fucking show.
Yeah. Other than that, I'm gonna keep asking ChatGPT how to do it until I get it right.
Till this AI gives me a correct fucking answer. Okay, so it has to be an immutable timeline. In some theories, time travel would require the timeline where any changes made to the past would be impossible or would have unintended consequences. So it's got to be a timeline where you can't fuck it up, I think is what they're saying there. Okay.
Right.
Casuality. Time travel, if possible, would need to respect casuality. That means this is something we already talked about. The effect cannot precede its cause, and any changes made to the past would need to be consistent with the original timeline. So you couldn't go back back in time to get yourself rich because you're not fucking rich now.
And you're never gonna be rich.
And
So
you
like
never-
if you do go win the lotto and then like you come back and like, damn it, I'm just always gonna be poor. Like,
Yep, it's going to create that paradox. There's no predestination. So the concept of predestination suggests that every event in history is predetermined and cannot be changed. If time travel is possible, it would imply that the course of events is not fixed, and it would allow for these changes only in the present. Right? Can't change. But that's like saying, dude, if you go and get a fucking study for a degree in the future, you're gonna have that job. It's also like, well, no shit, dude. So okay, I can control my future also, but it's like that predestination bullshit is also kind of horseshit. But
yes.
I mean, you can't at the same time, you can't in 5 years go, oh man, I wish, I didn't take that college course. I wish I had that college job now. Don't work like that, right? Because you didn't do it in the past, so you can't have it in the future.
That's true.
Right?
That's
That
very
works on
true.
that simple level. Once again, the consistency with the original timeline. Any changes made to the past would need to be consistent with the original timeline. Consequences of those changes would need to be accounted for as to not create a paradox. No, this one's weird. No flashing lights or disappearing. According to some theories, time travel would not involve flashing lights or disappearing, but rather you like transitioning the whole time, you moving to somewhere. You wouldn't just up and poof.
But you'd be like moving to another spot.
Yep. Like you would
Because
physically
you
lift
would
up
actually
and
have
go.
to physically go.
Yes, transcend it, It would
Because
place you
you're-
out of it.
Because your body would have to not age, right?
Yeah. It has
Apparently.
to, it's relative to you. So
Yeah.
you couldn't just fucking, there's no rewriting of memories. Changes made to the past would not erase or alter memories of the original events. So, like you were saying, you couldn't fucking go get your money and come back and be like, I'm rich, bitch. You'd get there back to where you were, and something would have happened where you ain't fucking rich. You just wouldn't have been there for it. Instead, you would have to integrate those timelines into or those memories and things you wanted into the existing timeline, or else you'd create another paradox. So not only if you went back to try to forget that memory, bro, you'd have to re-fucking live it to keep the timeline normal. So like, don't go back in time to try to fix your dead dog or your girlfriend who dumped you in fifth grade, right?
Make that stock market trade you should have made.
Yeah. It's gonna hurt twice. These are just the top 10 rules. Number 7, right? Limited support in theoretical physics. So there's not a lot of support for backwards time travel, and it's often connected to quantum mechanics or wormholes. So you would need to understand like physics of how to get there. That's a rule of it. And you should probably learn quantum mechanics and the idea of wormholes. And
even if you do get there, like physically,
dude, you would have to figure out how you got there in order to get back. You would have to become Einstein. I think you only time travel by accident.
have to be.
Or you like hit such a deep state of maybe depression or anxiety or like a religious meditation or euphoria where you're out of your body. And then maybe you hone that and never come back.
So like if you're in a coma, do you just not age?
Dude, I was wondering if you were going to ask me that question. I was like, I wonder if Matt's going to ask me about a coma.
I would.
I don't fucking know. I don't know. That one's a weird one, right?
That's of course, right?
Because they say like if you're in the coma, you're almost aware sometimes.
Right.
But your body's shut off, dude. And if your mind's hyper aware, that's one of those states of fucking, getting close to being able to like that's like stage 15 of 21.
Right. You're almost like there by getting a coma.
Man, if you ever get into a coma and you're like we'll both have to remember this. If we ever get into comas and we're still like coherent, but our bodies shut down, just start meditating 24/7.
Dude, right?
See if you could travel.
I'd like to see if I can get far enough away.
Yeah, dude.
But like
Then
your
you're
heart only beats like once every day, dude. So they don't even know.
You're like, I saw you out there dipping into my savings funds while I was in my coma, bitch. I want a divorce. I saw you spent it on mac and cheese and makeup.
Mac and cheese and makeup.
I'd be pissed. You're out here looking good while I'm fucking dying, eating good. Anyway, this is one you asked about. Time travel is a fourth dimensional version of walking in a circle. Okay, this is a rule to remember. According to Einstein's theory of general relativity, time travel could be seen as the fourth dimensional version of walking in a circle, where the curvature of space-time allows for the existing. Oh, I didn't take a good enough picture of that one. Sorry. You can get stuck in a space loop. We'd already talked about that one. Here we go. Oh no, here it is. So it's seen as a fourth dimensional version of walking in a circle where the curvature of space-time allows through the movement of time. So you could be here on Earth, right? We curve space and you hop into that other realm now because we pulled it down and then back out. Is it a physical place to go to?
Like have to be, right?
Like, if you curve space-time and you shoot a rocket through, can you see that you've curved space? Will now the North Star be like east? Right? Like Alpha Centauri always sits in the same spot, no matter where the fuck we're at in the planet, any given time. That's how you know we're not moving, by the way. But if we bend space, does Alpha Centauri move? Have to, right? Because it's got to be a physical process. Yeah. Dude, did you know in the Georgia Guidestones there was a hole in one of those stones that you could look and it would show Alpha Centauri Polaris all the time?
Really?
24/7, 365. That's fucking weird.
Wow.
How is that star in the same spot through the same hole if we're moving? Because the other constellations, right, you only see in like certain seasons and places.
Right.
Yeah, it's fucking weird. But of course, there's some answer that makes it okay for it not to move.
Because that's like our pivot point, like all the way around.
It's got to be something.
And we're also whipping through space.
Yeah, dude. But yeah, that star never fucking moves. Polaris never moves. Rule number 9, gravitational fields. So strong gravitational fields, such as those found near black holes, could potentially be used to bend space-time and help you facilitate your time travel, which is kind of like wormholes. I feel like they were saying, it's the beginning of it. The black holes first, and because relativity exists, that means you can create wormholes. You should be able to bend it far enough, essentially. And then the last one would be rules of continuity, and sensibility.
And
So
if it does affect your body, could you go back far enough to where you like, if it's affecting my body, I can't go back more than 36 years or else, or even, dude, like what, you're gonna like send me back there as a teenager, toddler, like where's your
it's trippy. Could you go back to a time before you existed? I mean, clearly, because this guy claimed to go to Gettysburg. But wouldn't you be affecting the timeline then in the future because you were there? Like you're adding your footprints, or
unless you're like
killed
Scrooge
a bug.
McDuck, and all you can do is see it, right?
That's true. He's got the chrono visor, bro.
Like, dude, can you imagine like even like say you could travel time and you were next to a time like where you were at, right? And could you see yourself in that time?
I think absolutely, right?
You'd be like, no, you idiot, don't do that. And you can't
Yeah.
hear yourself, right? Because you're not in the same time. How could you hear? Because I'm light years ahead of you or behind you or whatever.
That's fucking true. That's a weird paradox. That's got to be a weird
Like, you know how
paradox
you
on it.
hear stuff just randomly? Like maybe that
Mhm.
was you. Like,
Dude, did you listen to any of that? It's speaking of hearing stuff, the Starliner, the astronauts. You'll have to listen to that on your TikTok later or
okay.
Instagram. Dude.
Yeah, because I sent you the one of the mouse, right?
Mhm.
That's
Yeah.
fucking funny.
I mean, how the fuck is that?
Dude, and like you see like the enhanced versions, like, dude, that's a mouse.
Dude, and at first I was like, okay, yeah, a mouse probably got caught on there and it's flopping around while it's taking off. And I'm like, it's getting tossed around. And then I'm like, oh no, it's not dead. It's alive. It's fucking
It's
running
scurrying.
around. It's not getting just
Like
jumped
at
around.
like how fast?
Like over 15,000 miles an hour. It said.
Like even at that, like you'd think you wouldn't even be able to make it out and just be like, you know,
Bro,
like
the
dude, you're lucky you even caught it in a frame rate at that fast.
the takeoff speed is faster than re-entry, and you burn up in re-entry. So imagine the forces on takeoff, and this fucking mouse was still there. Bullshit.
Chilling,
Bullshit.
chilling, dude.
So the Starliner one is trippy, dude. Butch, whatever his name is, I can't even remember. We just did the Boeing episode, but Butch Williams, there you go. Williamson. He calls down to like Houston or ground control, wherever, dude. And he's like, yeah, the speakers, and this would drive me crazy because it's playing over the loudspeakers. The speakers are picking up a weird sound coming from the Starliner. And he's like, I'm going to try to play it for you. And he holds like the thing out, dude, and you can literally hear it. Sounds like sonar. Boom, boom, boom. Like it's putting off a ping of something. And the NASA guy goes, yeah, I heard that. And he goes, like a weird ping or a sonar or something. You know, it sounds like the fucking heart rate monitors.
Right.
And he's like, yeah, I'm gonna play it again for you one more time. Maybe you could scratch your head and try to figure it out. And I'm like, dude, if I'm these fucking astronauts that are, if they're really up there right now, you're shitting bricks.
Right?
This thing has gone wrong in every fucking way. And now the spacecraft that went wrong is like counting down to exploding. What is this, Inspector Gadget's fucking letter that you got to read? And it's self-destructing.
Right? Was that the mouse's heartbeat? Like,
Dude.
maybe it's like in there just like running against buttons and shit.
Dude, it's so, yeah, it's just laying on the fucking microphone.
It keeps like making like, oh man, that's funny.
It's trippy though. Like also, this is a little off subject, but like Buzz, or not them, but the Apollo 11 crew, or one of the other ones, when they went around the dark side of the moon and they lost like contact, their speakers were picking up like weird, like you've never used an electrical toner, so I guess you wouldn't think of that, but like almost like if you called a phone and it sounded like a fax machine was on the other line,
Right.
but take out the little like part, you know, just a like that part.
Like almost like when you get like a text over like a speaker, like when
Yes.
you used to like be like in like when you're in a class or whatever, and there's always like the speakers and you can tell somebody's getting a text. It's like
Yeah. They heard that shit on the dark side of the moon when they passed through it.
They're just getting texts up there, bro. That's all that is.
It's just there's just weird space music out there. So when you time travel, you got to be ready for.
Maybe it was the time traveler from the future had his phone going off in the future, and they were like,
dude, yeah, maybe they got so far away and there's another dimension up there, right? And some time travelers in their fucking Starliner, like they're hearing, it's their own fucking countdown. Like they're fucked. We looked at the gematria. We looked at it all. They're fucked. They're doing something else.
they are really up there. It's not just a whole thing in a Hollywood basement.
It's scary. I would be terrified if I was up there. I feel like I'd constantly feel like I was falling. Especially if I was looking down at Earth, I'd be like, we're fucking falling up here, bro. It's weird.
Yeah, but you lose that after so long, though, right?
Yeah, it's
That's
true. I
like
don't.
jumping out of an airplane and just like
I was
just
gonna say I don't feel like that in an airplane. Yeah, I don't
Like
know.
I feel like if you're secure enough, you don't feel like that. Like even like on like a Ferris wheel, you don't feel like you're gonna like fall off of it. But like if there's no edge around you, you're like, oh, I could fall off.
Yeah, you
Like
get
how
that one.
close could like and like when there's like a railing, you'll walk right up to the edge of the railing, even lean on it and stuff, right? But
Mhm.
like even if that wasn't there, like you won't like you're hesitant to walk as close as you would because there's
They
that.
say too, like you get like that feeling of being separated from Earth.
Yeah.
So maybe that's part of like the time is relative because we created that shit here on Earth, and then the further you get away, it starts having a different effect on your body because you're feeling less like attached to it.
It makes sense.
I I want to time travel like fucking Baron Trump. I want that kind of time travel. I want the fucking portal in the world. I want the time machine.
Yeah. Telekinesis though, dude. Telekinesis.
Well, so there's this man Ronald Mallet, and he's a physicist at the University of Connecticut. He's proposed a theoretical model for a time machine based on Einstein's general theory of relativity, but it's mathematically grounded in relativity, so it's never been built or tested.
It can't be. 'Cause
No,
everything
dude.
is relative.
Right? In CERN 2011, they reported that they had detected neutrinos traveling faster than the speed of light. If that's true, it could have implied the possibility of time travel as it was exceeding, right, how fast we could travel. If you can go faster than the speed of light, you can time travel. Einstein says, though, in order to go that fast, your mass to support it must be so great that you can't move. So it's got a theoretical fallacy there,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Too big to move in order to go that fast. Can't do it.
You almost have to stand still. What the
The,
hell?
the Laser Interferometer Gravitational Wave Observatory, or LIGO, right? This is the detection of gravitational waves that provided insights into the nature of space-time, particularly how it can be warped by massive objects like black holes. While not directly relating to time travel, understanding these extreme conditions is crucial for any investigation into the possibility of time manipulation. And while LIGO's discoveries haven't really pointed directly to time travel, they expand the understanding of space time. So, and it says in order to time travel, you need to understand space time. And then you got like quantum entanglement, and it says that everything's kind of connected in the state of one so that they all influence each other.
Even if you could, okay, say I can shoot a bullet the speed of light, does it cease to exist because I shot it so fast? Like, if I could have a never-ending bullet, like does it not exist? Does it exist? Does it age differently? Like, I
It's
mean,
like the
where
question
does
of
it
the
go?
light.
It just goes to a different place, right?
Yeah, it's
It
the
has
question
to,
of light. It's just a time traveler.
which I think you could theoretically do because, like, you could shoot bullets out of an airplane, right? And
Mm-hmm.
then what? So say you had a bullet that shot a bullet that shot a bullet that shot a bullet.
I mean, it's leaving Earth. It's hitting the firmament, but for the no, for this conversation, though, yeah. I mean, it would time travel, and at one point,
Or
right
would it just go to a different place? Just going that way,
in our time, right?
Yeah, in our time,
That's
like,
fucking weird. It wouldn't be a time traveler; it'd just be aging.
yeah, at our rate,
What's the
you know?
fucking rule?
Get it.
This one's a lot to wrap your head around.
This is why I will never be a physicist.
I would, I would like to
A
do that shit.
theoretical physicist.
Wormholes or Einstein-Rosen bridges are hypothetical passages through space-time that could connect distant points in space and potentially different times. I don't think a wormhole you could do that. Because wouldn't it suck everything else into it?
It would
Like if it's
die.
bending time, it's pulling everything
It's
else.
bending you.
Yes.
Like you're made of cells. Like it's gonna like go into like more simpler forms, right?
That's been the thing. If you do that, do you rip apart and then get put back together? and you come out
Just
the other
an
side.
endless cycle.
Who was that?
That's like the definition of hell,
Prometheus?
no?
Prometheus, right? He fucking
Yeah.
was on the edge of the cliff and the birds eat him every day. And then by sundown, he's full again. And then the birds eat him all day. And then he's full again. That's his punishment.
That wouldn't be very fun.
No, no. Time is not relative for that motherfucker. I could tell you that. Anyway, that's all I got, dude. A little dive into time travel, the weird shit. Maybe Donnie Trump. A little occultism, you know, so maybe really Donnie Trump. Nah, I'm just playing. I think though, if it's a possibility, it has to be out there and it has to be a known government thing because the amount of power and the amount of money has to be on that scale.
Yeah.
Like
Especially when you're talking like quantum physics, man. Like,
yeah, dude. We're talking the fucking Vatican when we're talking chronovisor, dude. That's Roman money. That's like the most money of anybody.
Right. It's its own country.
Mm-hmm. City state. Right?
I don't. Yeah.
I don't even think it's anything. It's just we do what we want because we're us.
Yeah, it's its own thing in there. Like, I mean, yeah.
That's pretty tight though. It's pretty tight to me. But it's pretty.
I want that kind of money.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. Well, you got to give it up to the occult if you want that kind of money. But like we said, like we found out here, and
which is all going to
time
God.
travel.
That's
Yeah.
the worst.
Yep. They're fake God. They're manipulated God.
Wow.
We will we'll never get to be rich because we're not rich on this timeline.
Nope.
And see, we'd create the paradox if we found our rich timeline and tried to get to that one. We'd have to kill ourselves probably there. Which who knows how it would affect us here, right?
Yeah. Then I feel like you'd almost be suicidal here. You'd be like, what's the point? You know, like I don't you know. Like,
I fucking off myself for this, bro.
right.
I'm done in the
what my
future.
future looks like.
Yeah, I'm
Fuck.
done. For a little bit of fun right now. That's
Right?
crazy. That's a crazy way to
I
think
don't
of
think
it.
we could have it because like you'd have way too many people who saw the future and were like, no.
Yeah, dude, it's not worth it. It just goes to show again, you couldn't do it for the fame and shit.
Yeah.
You know, because it essentially time travel is asking you to stay where you're at or give up what you had or fucking, like we said, go through the heartbreak again.
Yeah.
Oh, you went back to fucking save your cat? Well, now you got to put it on the train tracks or else you're going to blow up the future. There's a nuclear war because your cat stepped on a button.
Matt, you went and put out the caveman's fire, really.
Right. Set us back 700 years. The dark ages are way longer. We just call it the beginning.
I had to pee, bro. That's why I went.
Fuck. It was dark out. I was looking for light. Anyways, with that being fucking said, this was another beautiful episode of We Figured It Out. I'm your boy Michael.
And I'm Matt.
We are the end of days best friends. And the world ain't ending anytime soon, so we'll be back for another.